what about stress? Is stress something that is always bad for us, or what do you think about that?
You know, I heard a talk by a health psychologist. Her name was Dr. Kelly McGonigal. And she gave this thought that really revolutionized, well, it revolutionized when she discovered it, and then it revolutionized my thinking about stress. And she said, we often look at stress as something that's very bad, very harmful. But the research is showing how we look at stress, how we think about stress can also impact how stress affects us. So she cited a study where about 30,000 adults in the United States were tracked. They followed them for about 8 years. And the researchers asked this question. They said, how much stress have you experienced in the last year? They asked these people, 30,000 adults, how much stress have you experienced in the last year? Then they also asked, do you believe that stress is harmful for your health? 2 questions. Then they used the public death records to find out in these 30,000 people over these 8 years who died. Bad news was that the people who experienced a lot of stress in the past year had a 43% increased risk of dying. So those of who experienced stress in the past year, when they looked at the records, they had a 43% increased risk of dying. But this was interesting. That was only true for people who believed that stress was harmful for their health. So the people who died, it wasn't only that they experienced stress, but they had this belief that stress was harmful for their health. And the people who experienced a lot of stress but didn't view stress as harmful, they had a lower risk of dying. I thought that was very interesting. So
it's quite interesting to think, how powerful our thoughts are.
Yes. So it's not just feeling stressed, is what we think about the stress. Some of us, sometimes when I experience stress, I start to say, oh, this is so horrible. This is so stressful. What am I going to do? And so just me thinking about what's stressful can have an impact on my physical and emotional state. I thought that was so interesting. So we need to be careful when the stress comes, not only to be careful what we say about the stressful situations or people or events, but also the general view that we have of the stress. Because in this study, the people, as I said, who said stress is not harmful, they lived longer than those who said and focused on the harmfulness of stress. They actually died prematurely, not so much from stress, but from the belief that stress is bad for you.